Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are going to be looking at 3 different stamp sets, Special Someone, and we're going to be using the lovely Raccoon. We're going to be looking at Enjoy Life, and we're using this little set here and probably a couple of butterflies and this little one. And we're looking at Very Versailles, and we're probably going to be using the leaves and maybe some of this script and probably the sentiment, Always Thinking of You, which is very appropriate at the moment. So we're going to have some fun with those. And the colours we're going to use are a variety of blues. So I've got Night of Navy, I've got Coastal Cabana, and I've got Pacific Point. And we're using one of our sponge brayers. So we need to take a piece of cardstock, which is going to be our inside piece. We are going to be having a 1/4 inch wider mat. So this piece for me is 5 1/4 inches by 3.5 inches, but whatever your normal mat size is. And we're going to start with the sponge brayer and our lightest colour. So I'm using Coastal Cabana. And we are going to get some colour on this. So using the roller, it's a down and up, down and up, down and up, as if you were loading your brush if you are going to roller your walls. So when you do your emulsion and you roller your walls, that's the technique you need to do. And we're going to start off the side, and we are just going to start adding the colour through. Right the way up to the top. So just building the colour up as you go. Now, depending how you use your roller, you will find that sometimes you put more colour on one edge than the other. I find that I'm right-handed, and I tend to roll so that I get more colour on this top piece than I do at the bottom. However, it's very easy to take that down by just turning it round. So I'm just taking it through right the way to the top here in this colour, just sort of variegating it as you go. And if you want to turn it round, you can see that the top's not quite as dark. You can take it up from the other side so you can get more of an even base down on there. And again, just take it up to the top, building up the colour as you go, so you have as much of the colour as you want. And the sponge roll brayer is really good because it makes, you can see that there's no sort of streakiness on there. So that's our first colour, which was the Coastal Cabana. Now we're going to move through to the Pacific Point. And again, you can use the same sponge brayer because we're using the same colour family. So we're doing from light blue to dark blue. And again, just load up your brush. Again, start it out from the outside and just roll it up to the top. It will get lighter as you go. And we want the bottom part to be darker. So just rolling as you go. And again, I turn mine over to the other side because I find that, as I say, I'm not an even roller, but it means that I can get the other side nice as well. And just taking it up to the top. And you want the bottom part to be darker. So again, just rolling along this bottom part. So you get this really lovely variegated colours coming up. So the bottom part, we want it as dark as we can. And then just taking it out to the top. Okay, so I think that that'll work perfectly. You've got this lovely variegated colour in there. Now we are going to take the stamp, which is the lovely Raccoon, And we are going to take the inside and the outside. So it's a two-step stamping to give the colouring. But on this we are going to use, let me see which one. Can I just fit it onto here? Yes, I think I can. Okay, so I'm using the outlined part first, and you need a good black ink. So whichever is your preferred. And we're going to stamp that up in the black, and we're going to put it just about there in the centre. And press it down, and you have the lovely image on here. Let me just get my stamping scrub, or my Simply Chamois rather, and just clean that one off. And then we're going to take the other part, which is the inside part, and we're going to do that in the good black ink as well. So making sure that you've got it inked up completely. And there, whoa, it says me throwing it about everywhere. Should be all right. And then what you need to do is to go over the top of this. Now, you will probably see my head coming in here, but if you line up the bottom and the ears, so as I say, I will need to, let me take my glasses off for a minute so I don't get my head in here. And I will, sorry if I've just jogged the camera, but you need to try and get this as accurately as you can in on the centre. And hopefully with my lights and the camera, which I hopefully haven't jogged too much, we'll have got that fairly, yes, relatively accurately in there. So that's given us the black outline. Then you need to get your blends, and we do a black in the blends. However, I don't have the black, so if you've got any other markers which are black, you can use them. So I'm actually going to use one which is I've had for a while. And what you're going to do is you are going to just go round with the blends, and you want to make the whole image as a silhouette. So it's going to make the raccoon appear as if it is facing the opposite direction. So as I say, just fill it in with your blends. As I say, it's just one of the sets that I haven't got yet. The black blend will work perfectly, but I'm just using, as I say, another black alcohol marker that I just happen to have. So you're just going to colour that through. And it's the sort of thing that you can do a few times to make sure you've got a really nice dark image on here. So I'm just going all the way through to make sure I've got a nice dark silhouette. Now, if you haven't got blends, you can always use your black ink and a aqua painter or the blending brush, and you then have, I've just got a little bit down on here that I just want to get out a little bit more, but you then have a really nice silhouette. And you can do this with any of the images, so you can actually do it with the squirrel or you can do it with the mouse. There's a squirrel on there and there's a mouse, so you could do it with that as well. I'm just going to do it with the raccoon. Then what we need to do is we are going to take a just a circle. So I have just, let's get the clean one, I have stamped out a circle with, this was with the 1 3/4 inch punch. You can do it up to sort of about 2 inches, and we're just going to put this on the top here like that, just going over the top of the raccoon. And then we're going to start taking some sponge daubers. So I've got two different colours of sponge daubers here, one for the Pacific Point and one for the Night of Navy, because we're going to use both of those. So we're going to take the Pacific Point and we are going to use our sponge dauber and take that up. So we've got this where we want in the centre. You can hold it with your finger. And if you take it from the centre, you're just going to then go over the outside. Do it gently to start off with. You can always build it up afterwards. And you're just going over the edge, which will give a little silhouette for the moon. And you can put it down if you want to with a little bit of repositionable tape, but I find that my finger's pretty good. And as I say, just take it over the outside. And then once you've got it over once, just go around again to sort of smooth it in. Again with sort of circular motions. So round from the bottom, and then we can take that out. And you've got a really nice sort of silhouette coming through of the moon with the raccoon looking into the moon, which I think is rather nice. While we're at that part as well, we can tear a little piece of paper and literally just tear it straight down. In fact, I'll show you on this one. So take your paper and tear it against each other, just sort of in a random sort of piece down. You can have it as up or as down as you want. It really doesn't matter. And we're going to put that over the bottom on here. I find turning it sideways is easier for me. And then we are going to take the sponge brayer again, and am I going to do it that way down, or am I going to do it the other? I'm going to do it this way down. And again, just from the edge, you're just going to take this just off the edge and bring it right the way across. And what that'll do is it will just ground the raccoon quite nicely. So we're just going to go across on here like that. Take that off, and you've now got the little raccoon sort of standing on a little bit of background there, which is quite nice. And you've still got the variegation of colour. So we then need to sort of add some pieces in on here. So while we've got the Pacific Point out, we are going to, I can stick my glasses on my head again. We're going to take the very Versailles, and we are going to, let me just get my raccoons out of the way. I will put them away. As you know, I like to put them away, but I'm trying to do this. It's a little bit longer process, so I'm trying to do it sort of as quickly as I can. So we're going to take the Pacific Point in on this, and we're going to ink up the leaves in here, and then we are going to take them down from the top, not the whole of them, so just a little bit of them in like that. Ink it up again, and we'll have another piece just sort of coming in from that corner. So you've got the little bits coming down at the top, which looks quite pretty. Clean that one off. I've got lots of blue on here, so I need to clean my Simply chamois up a little bit more. But clean that off as best I can on there. Then we are going to take, so that's that little bit on there. Then we're going to take the out of the Enjoy Life, we're going to take this one, and that's going to be our piece for the bottom, because we want sort of, you know, quite pretty sort of undergrowth and things like that coming up. So let's put this one on here. And again, we're using the Pacific Point. and we're going to put that just down in the bottom. Pick it up again, put it in on the other side like that, and then we can have the last bit just down at the bottom, just going in on the bottom like that. Okay, so that's the bottom part of there. Clean that off again. And then there is a rather nice little, take that one off. There's a rather nice little one on here, which is this little bit of foliage. And I think that that will look really pretty in, put that on in back in here. So that little bit of foliage is this little one. So we'll take that one out and we'll put that on a smaller block. And this time I'm going to do that in slightly darker because it's more in the foreground. So that's going to be in the Night of Navy. So I'll take the Night of Navy and we're just going to put this over the top, just at the bottom. So in different sort of angles, some at the top. You can see on here that I'm doing it all the way across. Some of them high up and some of them just down at the bottom. Like that. So we've now got that bit at the bottom, which again looks quite pretty. And then, let's put that one back in there. And then while we've got the Night of Navy out, what we're going to do is we're going to go round the side to bring everything in, because at the moment it's not brought in centrally. So I'm going to start at this bottom corner, again take it from the outside, and we're just going to go round. If you take it off the paper first, and we're just going to take it round on the corners there, and then up on this side. So we'll take it all the way around. Right the way up to the top, bringing that in. It's rather nice doing it in different shades of blue because it looks like the sort of night sky coming in. Make this round down on this side. This is why you need some scratch paper underneath, so then you're not taking it absolutely everywhere. And we're just taking it down onto the bottom like that. So you've then got this sort of coming in, and if you want to make it a little darker, just prick it up and just go round your absolute edges on it. Bring it in so that you've got it very dark at the edges, coming in a little bit lighter as you go. So let's just go round in on this one. Just in along the top here. And as I say, you can do it with whatever character you want, but I thought it was quite nice with a little raccoon because it makes him look as if he's looking back out into the sky. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to put a sentiment over the top. And for the sentiment, I really like the always thinking of you. It works for virtually everything, and as I was saying, at these difficult times that we're all going through at the moment, it's nice to be always thinking. I'm always thinking of everybody at the moment, sending everybody love, and I thought that this was a lovely way of being able to do that as well. So I can choose black or I can choose Night of Navy. What do I reckon? I think I'm going to choose black because I want it to, the raccoon is black, so I think I'm going to do my words in black as well. So always thinking of you, and then I'm just going to put that at the top, and we'll take it sort of through on the top of the moon, or maybe just in this little piece up here, about there, I think. Always thinking of you. So that's rather nice. And then all we need to do is to put this onto a background. And we've got a rather nice, so let's have a look and see. I've got a blue background here. So let's have a look at the blue background. And we'll just put that on there. And you've got a really rather pretty little raccoon. Let me take all my rubbishy scrappy bits out of there so you can see it on there. I'd probably actually take it a little bit darker and do it with Night of Navy, or I could even do it in, so that's a dark blue. That's in black. Actually, it probably looks better in on the black, so I think probably black would look better. But again, it's very pretty. Now you could add, you know, a little butterfly in there. You could add the little flower. You could add anything else you want into. But I think it stands really nice like that. So a fun way of doing a background with a silhouette stamp just by colouring it in. So hope you enjoyed it. Do look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.